If you're launching a new product or service or even a new business, you'll know the importance of having an effective business marketing strategy. You only get one really good chance to build up expectations, the excitement of the product coming out, and then launching it for maximum impact on the market. Well, in today's video, I'm going to give you 7 strategies you can use, whether it's a service, a product, or you're just starting out a new business, to anticipate and build expectation for your products. And if you're trying to launch a product or a service or a business, then put it down below in the comments so I can take a look at it too. And maybe I can even give you some tips as feedback after this video. So the first tip for this strategy is to build expectation. If you're not excited about what you're about to release, how can you expect your audience and your clients to be excited about it too? But part of building expectation is being clear in your own understanding as to what it is that you're about to release. So you know exactly what the product is, you've got photographs of it, you know what the costs are, you've looked at your competitors to see that this is competitive in its market, and you know what you're offering and what's unique about what you're offering. But how can you make sure that you are building up expectations and that it's in line with what your market is expecting? Well, you could go over to Google. If you do a search there, say for instance we were a photography company and we were offering a wedding photography package. So I could type that into Google Images, for example. I see some package pricing coming up. This gives me an idea of what people are expecting, what their type of packages include. And so why not then get some inspiration from the competition first? Your customers will look at other competitors too, and you want to stand out not only as good as, but even better than what's currently out there when they search. So what you find in your searches is what your customers are also finding. Now, number 2, every business marketing strategy has to include Google. Why? Because Google owns about 90% of what's being found on the internet at the moment. Do you have a presence in Google? So do you have a website that's registered and inspired by Google? Do you have registration of your business in Google Maps? Do you have it on Google Business Profile or Google My Business as it was previously known? But how easy is it to register your business on Google Maps? Well, it's as simple as this. Let me show you how to do it. So you head over to Google Maps, and wherever it is that you've got your business, just imagine that we're doing a photography business in, say, Las Vegas. So you find your road, you find your street, you do a right click, and then you then add your business. And that will immediately then take you into an opportunity to then register your business. You just follow this through, put the categories, and it's as simple as that. Now, Google Business does come with its own free website, but it's not particularly that professional, that website. What you might want to do is go to Google Sites. Now, Google Sites can produce a professional looking website for absolutely free. And I did a video on that. So head over to that video on this link here, and that will show you how to do that. But don't go there quite yet, because I've got a few more other strategies I need you to follow. So the third strategy is FAQs. Now, you'll know some of the questions that your customers are asking about your products. Or if you're about to release a product or a service, think in terms of what are their most likely questions. Now, most good websites will have an FAQ section, and it could be that you've already got an FAQ section on your website. So think in terms of your product you're about to release or the service you're about to release. Are those types of questions being covered on your website? And if they're not, then put them on there. And also, secondly, you can get an FAQ section on Google Business Profile. Let me show you how that works. So here you see is a wedding website, and here it's got FAQs. What qualifications do you have? Are you insured? Do you offer any discounts? So if you're doing a photography release or a package, you'd want to just consider some of the questions that people are asking. But you can then take this information and you can copy it across to if that was your business. So let me show you how that works. If I go to Google Maps, I'm just going to search here for photography, basic audit here, which is a GMB. I'll put a link down below for this. It's really helpful because what it does, it gives you an opportunity to go to the knowledge panel of any business. And let me just show you how you can add questions. So be the first to ask questions. So if this was my business, I can ask a question. Are you insured? And then I can post it. And now you can then go back in and then you can answer it. And then you just put the answer in as well. So I'm not going to do that because actually that's not my business, but that's how you do it. But how do you know what questions customers are asking? Well, you could have a contact page on your website. Google My Business or Google Business Profile also has an area where they can ask questions. They can contact you via text. And also on top of that, you might want a chat bot that also sits on your website And as you can see, it then just means that they can ask questions there too. Once people are asking questions, that produces your FAQs. And interestingly, your FAQs are then spidered by Google. So Google Business Profile FAQs or questions and answers are often used in the search results. So you will find you'll get an increase in inquiries because of having questions and answers added. So there's a real important tip that most people don't use today. So the fourth area is to build an email list. You want people that are anticipating your product release or your services. So how do you go about that? Well, through posts, through blogging, through social platforms, you can build anticipation. But I would also add an email marketing form. So something like MailChimp or Aweber can be quite helpful. You can then put a form in where you can ask people to perhaps sign up so that they can be told when the product is released, and that builds that anticipation. And of course, once they've signed up, you can remarket to them as well, so they may not purchase the first time around. But building up an email list or a database of emails is an important part of being able to market when you go forward. The fifth area is to have offers and coupons. Why? Because people can share them as well, and in effect they're marketing on your behalf. Years ago it was all done by word of mouth. Today it's done by social media. So as you can see, again, Google gets you to create offers. You can put in coupon codes, you can have a landing page, you can make sure that people get discounts, they can share that discount too. So Google's been building up this idea of creating offers. It even encourages you to do so on the home page when you log on to your Google Business Profile. So have something that's always current, a promotion that's always going, and in that way it builds that readiness for when you release that product. And once your product's released, of course, you can then do other promotions as well. The sixth area is understanding the importance of SEO. So SEO, search engine optimization. But one of the key things that people have done wrong in the past is they focus so much on keywords that they're trying to make it so that it pleases the search engine rather than the customer. So focus on the customer. Keywords are important. In fact, I've done a video recently on that shows you how you can do some keyword research. I'll put the video link up above. But before you go there, just consider when you write an article, when you think about your product, when you think about your services, try and do them in a way that appeals to the customer that's interested in buying those rather than the search engine. But have in mind the keywords as you write for the customer. But actually, search engine optimization is more about thinking in terms of the mobile. So do you check your website that it works well on a mobile? In fact, there's an easy trick you can do here that just shows you that if you've got your website in a browser, you can then check to see whether it works well in a phone. So you can go for an iPhone 12, for example, or you can try a different phone or a response in a tablet. But if it doesn't work on those areas, Google knows that, and Google will then rank you a lot lower because it always is interested now in websites, not from a desktop point of view or a laptop point of view, but from a mobile point of view. And also speed is the other thing as well. So you can see how on my website I've got NitroPack, and that just helps to keep the website up to speed. And it uses CDN, for example, to do that. And in fact, I've done a video that shows some tools you can do that are going to enhance the SEO of your website. So you may want to have a look at that a bit later. I'll put a link up above for you to follow after this video. But the seventh and most important way really to get involved in marketing your website is social sharing. So can you get others talking about it on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, YouTube? All these areas are great marketing tools. But if your content isn't shareable, then people won't share it. So how do you make it shareable? Well, it's been proven that Google Business Profile actually ranks higher when it gets regular information. But if that information is being shared, that builds up its importance, its authority. Now, when I produce a video or write a blog, I share it using Circle Boom. And it's a social media management tool, which I'll do a review on in the future. You can put one post and it will then go out to all your social media platforms. And the reason why it's particularly good is it also has a calendar, so you can choose when it goes out and you can then schedule that as well. But you know, one of the hardest things is the fact that Google also recognizes all your social platforms, but it refuses to make it easy to list these. So you may have noticed other competitors seem to have their social profiles there on their Google Knowledge panel. How do you get that on yours though? In fact, when you get it on yours, you know you've made it. I recently made a video on how my social media links appeared within 24 hours on my Google Business Profile. So you'll really want to see how I did this. So head over to this video now, and that will show you exactly how you can do it for your business too.